I thought I'd just give you another little behind the scenes glimpse again about what we do at Rosso Bespoke Butlers, because it's a lot more than just what you might expect. And that means that sometimes I've got to drive a van. Being a butler, a house manager, is known for being one of the most stressful jobs in the world. But with experience, you learn how to manage that stress. Today has been more stressful than most days, so why don't we have a little analyze of my day and see what tips I can give you to help you cope with stress in your life. The reason that I've got the van today is the catering company were unable to deliver the stuff I needed at a reasonable price because the venue's quite remote up in the Highlands. So the best solution was for me to take it up myself. So first thing we need to do is get it all loaded. So that's a very quick change from my old clothes, loading the van, to a lovely event here at Mar Hall. Bit of networking today. Gonna have to make sure we fit it all in. I don't really have time for this event today, but it's a brilliant event and it's run by the Gold Keys, who are a fantastic concierge group, and I don't want to miss it. So I've come, but I'm going to do a really quick change, head back on the road again and get up north in my van with all my stuff ready for tomorrow. As I negotiate Glasgow rush hour traffic with a couple of tons of crystal glasses in the back of my long wheelbase Transit, it seems like this might be an appropriate moment to talk to you about stress.
In half a mile,
and how to
use
deal
the right
with it.
2 lanes to turn slightly right to stay on M8.
Now, no butler is a stranger to stressful situations. It really is our bread and butter, because the reason that most people get a butler is so they don't need to feel
Use the right 2
stressed.
lanes to turn
So
slightly
what
right to
happens
stay
is
on
a
M8.
lot of the client's stress gets put onto us. And I'll be honest, that's just part of the job.
Continue on M8 for 5 miles.
Stress can quite literally be a killer. Everything from heart disease, cancer, and then in most extreme situations, suicide can be directly linked to stress. But I'm going to tell you how stressful situations, anyway, don't need to lead to stress. Sadly, I can't tell you how to have a stress-free lifestyle, because no one knows that, because there's so many challenges which are going to come up, and it doesn't matter who you are going to get stress. If you're the Dalai Lama who's meditating all day, I bet you're still going to find things to stress about. Probably being exiled for a start. Right now I'm on my way to a wedding. Now, weddings are, generally speaking, relatively high stress, because by their nature you only really get one shot at it. A residential conference or something like that, even if day one wasn't spot on, you can usually make it up on day 2. But a wedding is different. But unresolved stress, that is the problem. Because people worry the most about
In a quarter of
things
a
that they
mile,
have
at
no
junction 13,
control over.
Use the left 2 lanes to take the M80 exit.
So
to
what I would
Starling
say is we've got
Bridge.
2 choices. We either take control of the things that we feel we have no control over, or we let them go. And we
Use
just
the left 2 lanes,
resign
exit at junction
ourselves
13.
to the fact that we have no control over those situations. Now, this is by no means a philosophy that I've made up, although it is a philosophy that I have adopted. This is the main teachings of Stoicism. And I would highly recommend that anyone in any kind of management role or any kind of stressful role, you need to read the works of Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor. And again, he did not make up the philosophy of Stoicism. I believe that was actually Greek. But he did refine it, and he did write it down in a way that's incredibly easy to understand, even for a humble butler like myself. So to use an example, for this event I'm doing today, and the reason that I am being a delivery driver today is because, unfortunately, I've taken on this kind of event halfway through, and we thought that the delivery of all the hire stock was sorted, but it turned out that it wasn't. And it turned out the company couldn't deliver to the remote area that we were working in. And that's fair enough. It's outside of their delivery zone. But that didn't cause me stress. All I did was look for a solution. And my solution was quite simply hire a van and take it there myself. Nice and simple. So that is a situation that doesn't need to bring me stress, because I can look for a solution and I can find a solution. I can draw a line under it and it's resolved. Now, if something happened, like I'm on my way to this event and I got stuck in a really bad traffic jam with not moving traffic, or I had a tire blowout, or the van broke down, or something like that. Now that then becomes a situation that is outside of my control. If I'm stuck in a 10-mile tailback, there's almost nothing I can do to get this stuff to where it needs to go. Now, I have already mitigated to that, of course, and planning ahead is one of the best ways to avoid stress. So the way I've mitigated that is I'm actually going up the day before this stuff is needed. So I actually have an entire 24 hours to get it there. And you'd think even in an extreme situation, it shouldn't take me 24 hours to get there. I am, at the moment, famous last words, perfectly on schedule. Obviously, if now I was to run into standstill traffic, I would be late. But the key is not to let that stress you out. Realize that that situation is beyond your control. Feel the stress, understand the stress, imagine it like it's an object. See that stress as an object and throw it away. As always, just when you think you've got everything sorted, there's something that happens. This time, it's a flat tire. I've got like a ton of stuff in the back now that I'm going to need to take out. Hopefully there's everything in this van so I can change the oil. But there's no reason for stress. Let's just get back on the road again. The thing that really messes with people's mental health is not so much stress, but it's unresolved stress. It's people spiraling to a situation where they feel like they have no control. Control is like a drug. The more you have, the more you want. When I was younger and starting out in my butlering career, I always made the mistake of trying to control every element of every situation. I thought that was what a butler did. There's this idea that a butler should be in control of every aspect. And of course, this isn't just for butlers. This is for anyone in a management position. There's a lot of stress on you, in controlling everything. Anything that goes wrong, you feel like it's your fault. You feel like you're in control, or you should be, or you're not in control. Now, a big part of this feeling of needing to be in control of everything is based on blame. People are terrible at wanting to apportion blame to everything. I have seen so many situations where people literally spend more time trying to work out whose fault it was when something went wrong than they spend trying to fix the thing that went wrong. And that drives me mad. If something's gone wrong, get over it. Move on and fix it.
Oh, I'm so glad to say we've made it to the venue. Now let's get this van unloaded.
So the birds are singing. It's the day after the event. Of course, as always, there was all sorts of problems to solve, all sorts of things that crop up on the day, as I can assure you there always will be on any event, no matter how carefully it's planned. But the beautiful thing is everything turned out fantastically well. The clients are so happy. The team were amazing. Everything went brilliantly well. Compliments about the service for the whole team, which is what obviously makes me very happy. And this is what I mean about good stress, which has a resolution. Because yes, it was stressful. Yes, there was a lot involved in pulling it together. But the important thing is it came to a head, it came to a reason, a purpose. And this is the kind of stress that we can actually use to make us more relaxed, believe it or not. You know, now I think the whole thing is finished and I feel really good. It's like a very slow dopamine hit of you've been working so hard to get this thing done and now it's done. You know, it's when you think about what our ancestors were like when they were hunting game or hunter gathering, looking for nuts and berries and stuff like that. It took them all day to find it. They walked miles, they worked hard. They worried that they weren't going to find it. They worried they weren't going to eat. Then they found it, they ate, and they were happy. That's the kind of work, the kind of dopamine that makes us happy and relieves stress. Now, if you compare that to your everyday little bit of stress, just building and building, and you're trying to break away from that stress by doing things like going to the pub and getting drunk, or playing computer games, or anything else where you don't really have a resolution, you don't really feel like you've actually achieved anything, that's when stress starts to build up within you and eats you away. So yes, I'm exhausted today. Yes, I worked 22 hours straight yesterday, but I'm happy. So don't let side missions stress you out. Look at what you're really working towards and concentrate on what's truly important to you.